episode 278, Resisting Subconscious Temptations Through Awareness.
You're listening to the very best podcast in the world on health, wealth, and happiness. Please remember to leave a review and share with all your friends and family. And here is your host, Lars Hilser.
And finally, it's hump day. Wow. Welcome to the very best podcast in the world, your only source in the universe for personal supremacy through health, wealth, and happiness. Now, I know the title of this episode is a mouthful, and there is a reason that I chose it, which was my ongoing hook or addiction to scrolling social media, more or less. And I've had this under control for the longest time. And I noticed a relapse, if you will. And that's what we're going to talk about today, because the relapse I was experiencing, it wasn't all that bad. Let's not call it a relapse. Let's call it what it is. I had too much time on my hand, which seldomly happens. But I used that time unwisely in order to scroll through useless Facebook posts. The algorithms are insanely precise, and they are insanely good at presenting exactly what you need at any given point in time of your day. So I wouldn't say I fell for it, because I deliberately manipulated Facebook's and other social media platforms' algorithms to my liking, and really confused them to a degree where they just go apeshit a lot of times and say, let's just deliver something and see what sticks. And, it's like throwing shit at the wall and see what sticks. And that's what this episode is going to be about, because my relapse, for a lack of better terms, was more than anything else subconscious. And that's what we're going to talk about today, right after going through our daily housekeeping chores. Item number one of which is, as every day, sharing is caring, meaning that if you find this or any other episode interesting, and you should, share it with your friends, family, folks, followers, whatever you want to call them. And the reason is really simple. The content that you get here, and your friends and followers and folks and whatever, the content they get here is free, and it's going to stay that way. And that's the stated goal of this thing, this podcast. And it's going to stay that way, because I was really going to kick those wallet rapists in the knee. And the wallet rapists are, all of your folks trying to tempt you into paying shitloads of money for the content you can get here for free, pretty much, minus the life experience, which those freaks don't have a lot of times. And that's why it is so important to share the content far and wide, so that the audience grows and, snowballs out of proportion, that you can get motivating and content and good life advice here for free. So there we go. Plus, God is going to kill a little tiny cute kitten if you don't share it. But that's just, on a side note. Item number two, as always, is that the views expressed herein are my own, and they always will be, and they do not necessarily reflect any blah, 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 blah. And item number three, rehaul and remodeling and renovation mode is ongoing, but kind of decreasing. So there's going to be a bit more time to do even more research, which has resulted in probably the next 3,000 episodes already being lined up or drafted up, more or less. So anyhow, back to the picture. Like I said, I was noticing an increased frequency in particularly my Facebook usage, which kind of got on my nerves, because the videos are just, ad ridden. And, sometimes I'll just watch interesting stuff. A lot of times there will be fails that I will watch. The reason being that I have a very dark sense of humor, and I just find it funny when people hurt themselves. Yet overall, I'm a good person, so I also laugh about myself right after the pain has stopped if I do something stupid. And right after the pain has kind of faded off, I'll laugh about myself. Anyhow, the important part was noticing that I was using Facebook. Now, or an increased frequency of usage. Let's put it that way, the way it is. And I didn't notice that through the screen app, which bothers you every week or so and tells you you have been a naughty boy because you've been, using Facebook a lot or whatever. It gives you kind of this reflection on what usage times you had on your devices. And I didn't use that. It was just more like this awareness of, God damn it, what am I doing? I'm again waiting on the video to buffer while the advertisements mysteriously just, flow through like nothing happened before. Seems to be some kind of tweak on Facebook's CDN, necessary content delivery network, whatever. At the end of the day, I was noticing that I was using Facebook too much. And the important part was that the habit that, whenever I had downtime, that was when it occurred. And downtime for me is, I don't know, smoking a cigarette or, just, enjoying a coffee or whatever. Then I would notice that I would instantaneously open Facebook and out just because it was exactly at the position on my phone where it's always been. And it was just so easy, to click that button. It was so subconscious. It wasn't really that I had the intention of going there, and then the weirdest thing happened. I became self-aware that I was scrolling again. I shut the app, did something else, and immediately when I closed that app, returned there. So, what I tried was to divert the attention away from Facebook towards useful applications during downtime, like, from reading my RSS feeds or, chugging away at a bit of email. And what I did was, and this is important, this is where you have to take notes. You have to be able to reach a degree of awareness where Facebook's icon will jump out of the subconscious space into your conscious space, so that when you click to open the app, or you tap or touch or whatever you want to call it, to open the app, that immediately, once the application loads, that you will immediately be aware that you are scrolling Facebook. Now, I put in another failsafe where I kind of took Facebook's color, which kind of is a part of the app opening, at least on iPhone. I don't know how it is on Android devices. But, you get the Facebook color scheme of the menu and everything. And I immediately tried to memorize that as something that I need to be aware of, so that when I either push the button, and it's too late. I've already pushed it. So the app opens. That's like my second failsafe, where it says, okay, we've got this strange blue, very unique color. And this is popping up. And now it is time to be aware. And that's the first step, folks. That's what you have to achieve, is to be aware of what you're doing. Because a lot of stuff is just dug so deep in our subconscious mind that we just do it. Right? And that's insanely, insanely dangerous in a large variety of ways. Take, for instance, the habitual alcohol drinker, right? As we all are, or the social drinker, more or less. And you come home from a party and you're like, I could have another shot, just to get me bed heavy and, just to be able to lay down. And all of a sudden, this, social thing becomes something habitual. And that's, I'm talking about a serious addiction here, right? Not the 30, 35 minutes a day I spend on Facebook, but something that could seriously compromise your health. And so it's important to be aware and to be able to build fail-safes for you to reach that degree of awareness by, for instance, monitoring your behavior very, very critically. And anything you do subconsciously, you immediately have to build failsafes so that immediately you know that you are aware that you're doing something which you just have to take out of the subconscious sphere into the conscious sphere, into the present moment, and then being able to, at a moment's notice, eradicate this behavior if it gets to a state where, or to a stage where it can become, in my case, a time killer. In other cases, have serious, health consequences. So, I hope I was able to give you an interesting, list of fail-safes or, warning triggers to monitor your behaviors. And again, this is applicable pretty much anywhere in life. It's about, having certain things which are on autopilot and lifting that out of the hands of the autopilot into your control again. And that's what it is really about. Just the fact that you are aware that you're doing something is, so insanely important because, you get to enjoy it, right? It's not it's not the autopilot taking care of you. It's yourself again. So it's about, taking back control to a degree as well. So let's call it a wrap. Let's wrap this episode up. So thanks for listening. As always, if you have questions, please email them to theverybestpodcastintheworld@gmail.com. That of course goes for feedback, anything really that you want to let me know. And have a good rest of your Wednesday. If you've already had your Wednesday, have a good night, and we'll be back in touch tomorrow. Stay safe, leave your hands above the blanket as always, and see you tomorrow, folks. Bye-bye.